first item was a special use, a business. It's called Kebab.
Sound like a restaurant.
Exactly, and it is actually, and it's they're going to be located in the former place where Tubby's and then Benny's was located. So that's down near 12 Mile in Southfield, on Southfield Road. They're going to specialize in Mediterranean food. That is what they told us last night, and we wish them well. And council did approve it. The Planning Commission had approved the use, and council did the same at the meeting.
When are they projecting to be open for business?
He did not say. I think fairly soon. I would hope. I know that. I think they're probably working up there today. So,
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it'll be good to get them in there, and we wish them well. So. The second item we had last night was approval of a towing bid. The police department and the city went out to bid for towing services. When we have accidents, people need to get towed, and our police department needs to get involved. We need to be able to have a towing company we can go to, and we want to make sure those are very competitive prices, you know, as our residents or whoever might be having an accident out here has to pay. So it was a 2-year contract that was awarded to Always Towing. And so that's all set.
And the arrangement there is if there's an accident, the car needs to be towed, the police department regularly then would call that company.
Right, they would. That's who they would call. Always, they would come out, and then you know, whoever was in the accident, or insurance companies, whatever it is, they work out the billing and whatnot.
Okay.
The next item we had was a salt quote. We had something a little different happen this year. We've been in a consortium for a number of years, and we saved a great deal of money joining that consortium.
And you really did that at a time when the salt prices
were
exactly.
Sky high. For instance, this last year's bid for 09-10, there were 2 bids, one around $68, another one around $63 a ton. And then Detroit salt came in around $42 a ton. So it was a great price. We got it. They came back this year, and knowing what the prices were, they negotiated with the consortium for a 10% increase, which puts us at about $48 a ton. I wasn't terribly happy with that, and I think most cities aren't going to be terribly happy with that. But looking at what the other pricing is, and those companies have been consistently kind of in the 60s, it looked like. And if we went out to bid, Detroit Salt said, if you're outside the consortium, we're not going to even give you a bid. So it kind of forced us into a corner, you know, and I don't like working like that. It's like, you know, let's bid, and, you know, then we're all the better for it. But after a lot of discussion, I mean, everyone pretty much in the consortium has had to do the same thing and has agreed to do this. So council waived the competitive bidding process last night and agreed to go with Detroit Salt at about $48 a ton.
Still considerably better than the other companies.
Yeah, $68 or $63, but you know, still, you know, yeah. But anyway, that's what happened with that. Council, as they do at every regular meeting, they accepted the reports of the Planning Commission and Code Enforcement. Matt Baumgarten, our code enforcement officer, gave a report on the status of downspout inspections. We've actually had, you know, I like to think our residents, majority really complied. They got things hooked up correctly, extended. We've had to ticket a number of residences, and he kind of gave an update on that last night, but that's going very well too. That's dwindled. I mean, we had 700 homes that didn't comply when he started, and we're down to, you know, around 30 now.
Oh, that's a big improvement.
Yeah, Matt's done a lot of work. Same with our assistant city attorney. They work together real well.
Could you explain briefly why that's a concern? Why the downspout is a concern?
Well, a couple reasons, and mostly about money.
Yeah.
And because what's happening now is the Oakland County Drain Commissioner is now charging the city of Lathrup Village based on flows. Before, it used to be strictly based on the water you use. Now they have this combined rate where they take part of the water you use, so that still matters. But also, we have 2 meters that leave the city, and they're measuring our sewage flows leaving. And in these downspouts, if they're not disconnected and extended away from the home, it goes right down your footing drain, into the footing, into the sanitary sewer, and out through those meters, and then we end up paying for it.
So we're paying money for rain runoff.
Exactly. Why pay to clean stormwater? Get it out to the ditch areas. That's where we want it to, you know, well, we don't have the best ditch system in the world. Yeah. Certainly we'll get rid of the water eventually, and you don't pay for it. It ends up, it's clean stormwater, ends up in the Rouge River, and that's where it should go. So, and actually, we've spent over probably $1.5 million with grants we received this last couple of years. We're actually starting to see our flows start to go down a little bit now, which is really good. Not so much because of rain, but we can compare ourselves to other communities. And we're normally about 10% of Southfield's flows. We're actually down about 7% of their flows now. And for 20 years, I mean, it's been 10%. So we know we're starting to make a difference, and part of it is the downspout disconnection and extension. So I really like to thank the residents that complied with that.
You said there are a couple of reasons. What's another reason?
Well, mostly the money, but it puts less. We have less problems with the retention tank, things of that nature. So.
And then for the homeowner, there's a potential that it will keep a basement from flooding if the water
exactly.
is
It'll
moving
help.
away.
You're moving it away from your basement walls. People have water issues. These are clay soils here. I've had to have my basement waterproofed. It can be a real problem for a lot of people. So.
What else did the council do?
The last thing that was done is they passed a resolution for what's called Feet on the Street on April 17th. Actually, there's a subcommittee that's been working very hard on starting a new neighborhood watch program here in Lathrup Village. And on April 17th, we're actually going to gather here at City Hall around 11 a.m., get our walking papers, and we hope to have about 100 volunteers to go spread the word in the community. We're going to have orange shirts on. We've actually been funded through donations with the community groups, Homeowners Association, the Community Foundation, I don't know, the Children's Garden, Gardeneers, but a number of community groups have really stepped up to help fund it. They're going to send them out with a DVD on how to protect your home. We want everyone to see this video and then to register to let us know that they've seen it. And then we're going to continue beyond that to start really building. Get to know your neighbor. That's what it's really all about. You get to know your neighbor, you can look out for one another. I think they're going to look at promoting block parties, starting this summer. There's going to be a lot of cool things that are going to be happening. Cool. And, we encourage people to call the police department to volunteer on this day.
Do you happen to know the number to call?
557-3600 is the regular number. I know. The police clerk or the chief will get your information, but we're looking for volunteers. It's Saturday, April 17th. And after you go out and meet with the number of homes that they've asked you to go out and hand this out to, we're going to come back here and have lunch and kind of share what information, who people met with, kind of things of that nature. And actually, it should be kind of a fun day.
And if you're kind of interested in that, want more information, another thing that's going to happen in a week or two, right away, we're going to have a separate program on that. We're going to interview a couple of the people who are involved in that to give you more details on what it is and how you can become involved.
Absolutely.
And that's it, the major things before City Council. When is the next City Council meeting?
Let's see.
Well, we'll put it on
third Monday in April.
Okay,
yeah,
and
I don't know
we'll show the date of the next City Council meeting below. You can always attend the meetings. Jeff, one of the ways that the City of Lathrup Village and the residents have gotten information about when City Council meetings are, but when everything's going on, is the Village Crier, that printed quarterly newsletter that came out. There have been some changes there over the last year, so can you talk about that just a little bit?
One of the things we did is we got a new website together. We looked at our old website. It was pretty bad. I mean, I'd be the first to admit it. We had actually a subcommittee that looked to help build together. We had some really great people in the community that came together to share some of their ideas, and we have a new website that we launched last May. And very interactive. You can go on there. There's a spot that says notify me. You click on that, and all the departments will then, any changes, things going on, it'll come right to your email, right to your desk. And one of the key things that we did, and another is to help save money, was to quit printing so many newsletters. We were spending $12,000 a year on the newsletter, and knowing what we know with the economy and falling property values and taxes and things, we just looked at we fly-specced every part of the budget. And we thought if we could email it to people, all they have to do is sign up, and it'll have a link that'll come to them. They can click on it and read it, print it out if they'd like. But it saves us quite a bit. And it's a nicer looking product, because now it can be full color. It's pretty neat looking, compared to the old two-color kind of thing we set up.
So if they're not getting the email version of, is it still called the Village Crier?
Yes, it is.
If they're not getting it, what do they do to?
What you need to do is go to lathrupvillage.org, and on the left-hand side there's a button that says Notify Me. Click on that, and then you put your name and your email address. I'm not even sure you have to put your name, but your email address. and you just click the boxes where you want information. We want to know what's going on with the rec department, and these updates happen all the time. Weekly, they're updated. Rec department, police department, which ties right in with the neighborhood watch. The newsletter, just click those and it'll come right to you. And if you want to look at it, great. If not, you don't have to. But it'll give you the link and open that publication or whatever.
So,
it's a great tool.
So it's kind of a continuous village crier.
Absolutely, absolutely. We still do the quarterly village crier, but you get a lot